Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Can you tell me anything about the recent commotion in the hospital?
I'm sure it was not your fault, Dr. Reed.
My fault? What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I heard it was you who brought the murderer inside our walls. But you couldn't know, could you?
Nicht wirklich.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
Okay.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Ich glaube langsam aber nicht mehr.
I based my technique on my mentor's
genauso.
research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
So, wir haben jetzt eine neue Untersuchung bekommen.
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Ich habe keine Ahnung, warum PlayStation Remote jetzt da... Danke. Bitte hör auf jetzt. Komm, es ist nicht witzig. So, Entschuldigung für die Unterbrechung, aber...
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him? Or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Aykroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Ja, das Gefühl habe ich so bei vielen Ärzten immer gehabt, dass die, wie nannte das mein Zahnarzt so schön, die Berufsblindheit. Hat er gesagt, als er selber das dann gerade in der Sitzung bemerkt hatte. Die Berufsblindheit. Fand ich sehr interessant. Aber ja, das, auch im IT-Bereich habe ich
Goodbye, Dr.
Kollegen auch, ja, die waren super gut darin, ein Programm zu schreiben, aber wenn es dann darum ging, so zu gucken, aus Sicht der Nutzer, wie das dann für die ist und das so entsprechend dann zu schreiben, das war für die nicht machbar. Das musste ich dann so ein bisschen erklären, so in etwa, und auch wenn ich dann natürlich bestimmt auch Sachen habe, die ich nicht verstehe. Aber ja, das kann sein, dass das auch unter so eine Berufsblindheit fällt. Gut, ich finde jetzt...
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Please, tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital.
I heard Miss Jones call for help from her bedroom. There were some loud noises, like people fighting. All of a sudden, it went quiet. And then a nurse started screaming.
Do you know who the nurse was?
Not sure, but I think it was Nurse Hawkins.
Are you satisfied with your treatment?
Fragen wir ihn mal aus.
It's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Ja, das ist wahr. Also mit einem arbeitet sich in dem Bereich etwas schwer.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Okay. Interessant.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Okay. Fühlt sich für den Tod seiner
How
Frau
could your
verantwortlich.
job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Ellen didn't bring them with her that night.
Okay.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Okay, wir könnten ja noch mit Aykroyd sprechen, dafür müssten wir ihn aber auch unbekannt. Ist das Aykroyd?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Aykroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Aykroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Nothing like this would have happened if we had enough staff and proper shifts.
So you don't think the blame is ours?
We all hold fast here, Dr. Reed. Our methods may differ, but we are all trying to make a difference.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Aykroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Aha. Waverly ist halt so ein konservativer Arzt. Oh ja, sehr sympathisch. Konservative Ärzte.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
Das ist ein sehr konservativer Ansatz. Ich wäre offen für neue Sachen, wenn sie mir helfen können. Also.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
Ja, es ist... Okay.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Ist das ein Herzchen, herrlich. Blutarmut hat er. Ach so, Blutarmut. Das ist,
Thank you for your...
Naja, thank you for your time würde ich jetzt auch nicht gerade so behaupten. Das wäre irgendwie gelogen. So, wir haben einmal Kopfschmerzen und einmal Blutarmut. Das gehen wir auch direkt beheilen. Ja, Ackroyd ist ein Arsch, ehrlich gesagt. Also, ich meine, ich will nicht sagen, dass ich was generell gegen Ärzte hätte. Es ist nur, ich habe viele schlechte Erfahrungen gemacht. Aber es kann auch einfach sein, dass man dann in der Gegend ist, wo dann vielleicht auch einige Ärzte nicht so... Ich habe halt das Gefühl, einige Ärzte verschreiben ganz gerne einfach schnell Pillen und dann sind sie die Leute los. Einmal war es sogar ganz witzig, dass mich ein Arzt fragte, was er denn überhaupt tun soll und ich ihm dann gesagt habe, was man dann tut. Ja gut, dann kann ich das machen. Okay. Das ist so konservative Ärzte sind halt ich kann das verstehen, also so einem Harvey Fiddick, dass der dann eher so einem, dass er am liebsten dann von Dr. Reed, der so einen soliden Eindruck macht, lieber behandelt werden will als was war es? Blutarmut, Bronchitis, Moment, Vergiftung, Blutarmut und der andere hatte Kopfschmerzen. Da hatte der richtige Migräne. Habe ich mir jetzt nicht merken können. Nur Kopfschmerzen hatte er, also die leichte Form davon scheinbar. Neuralgie, wie das dritte. Hab ich noch nie von gehört. Gut, dann heilen wir die beiden mal. Wir sind Level 13, aber naja, schade, dass es für mich heute nicht Freitag ist. Vielleicht guckt ihr das an am Freitag. So, ist... Dann heilen wir ihn mal. Warum dürfen wir? Hallo? Können wir jetzt mal grad?
I'm quite...
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be...
Ja.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time.
Da hat er allerdings recht, weil wir die ganze Zeit beschäftigt sind mit Leute mit unserem Knüppel kleinhauen. Ich meine, man kann's wegstreiten, aber man muss ja wohl zugeben, dass das...
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
I would have been confused if anyone other than you had asked that question, Dr. Reed. But your help is welcomed.
There is no shame in helping each other. We're colleagues, after all.
Many doctors I have known are too cynical to think that way.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
So, dann hätten wir jetzt nämlich auch da geholfen. Und das sollte dann beim nächsten Mal dafür sorgen... Eigentlich können wir jetzt schlafen gehen, weil das ja dann nochmal die Stabilisierung des Viertels bedeutet. Meine ich zumindest. Ich würde jetzt ganz gerne der Nebenmission der Untersuchung nachgehen. Was haben wir jetzt allgemein für Untersuchungen jetzt alle bekommen? Nur noch die eine hier. Und die können wir dann bei ihm oder ihm abgeben, nehme ich mal an. Wie wir möchten. Okay. Können wir dann abgeben, wie wir wollen. Wie wir wollen. Können wir die verkloppen? Why not, oder? Schadet ja nicht. Ah, Kollege. Hey! Nein, warum wechselst du auf... Warum wechselt der auf den Gegner? Oh, das verstehe ich nicht. Warum? Ich habe das nicht verstanden, warum der auf so einen weiten entfernten Gegner gewechselt hat. Ich meine, dafür ist der Fokus doch eigentlich da, dass er dann auf einem Gegner bleibt und so wir uns dann, ja, diesen Gegner fokussieren halt einfach und sagen, so, der kriegt sie jetzt. Blöd gesagt, aber darum geht es ja bei dem Fokus. Und dann wechselt das Spiel einfach so, wow, jetzt machen wir den weit entfernten Gegner. Und ich auch denke, nein. So, wir wollen zum Stonebridge. Oh ja, oh ja, natürlich. Ja, absolut, ja. Hallo, wir sind...
Christ, he's dead!
So, irgendwo hier in die Richtung soll eine Apotheke sein. Wir müssen natürlich nur hier aufpassen, weil wir sind natürlich Skells in der Nähe wie verrückt. Dass wir nicht hier jetzt 1000 Skells in die Arme laufen und wie wieder so eine Horde hinter uns herlaufen. No! No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Aber unsere zusätzliche Ausdauer, ich finde, die macht sich bemerkbar. Was? Oh, wir wurden zu der Witwe gelenkt. Oh, na, okay. Oder eigentlich was mit der Apotheke machen. Ich habe schon.
My name is Xiaoshun. This is the proper way to address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Xiaoshun. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity. Some way to remember my dear Matthew.
Ah, okay. Sie hat ihren Matthew verloren. Ah, Grabmal ihres Mannes.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
This part of town is very fragile. I hope the trust so many people put in her will not be betrayed.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiaoshun.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this time, There is so little medical science can do to defeat the
Wir gucken mal ganz kurz. Starb an einer Krankheit.
terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
Schau schon, ist das eigentlich koreanisch?
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all...
Moment, aber schon finde ich die Kraft, um das Grabmal ihres Mannes zu verlassen. Und sie fühlt sich schuldig, weil sie den Zustand nicht erkannte.
equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to shed.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence, and I need sadness.
Trauern ist wichtig. Nein, Traurigkeit kann nicht... Ja, wenn man sich davon auffressen
I've
lässt,
seen
ja.
many deaths in my life,
Aber
and we all grieve in our own way. Some stay silent, or need to shout. Others need company,
genau.
and some just can't stand it.
Thank you for your sincere words, Dr. Reed. I sense you trying to help me,
Ja, absolut.
even if I don't quite understand why.
Einfach des Helfens willen. Sonst keine besonderen...
You realize you can't stay here forever, don't you? Eventually you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
Sie sind nicht tot?
To be honest, I don't know. Please forgive me if I've upset you. We must all honor our departed loved ones in our own way.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reed.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
No. But I felt I should share it with you, since she is buried here too.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your company, Xiaoshun. Take care on the way home.
Maybe I'll see you again in Whitechapel. Goodbye for now.
Haben wir hier irgendwo was? Nee.
Goodbye for now.
Ja klar, loszulassen ist schwer. Gerade wenn sowas so plötzlich kommt, was sie ja gemeint hatte. Das Das ist schwer, ja. Das ist wirklich schwer. Das ist echt nicht einfach, wenn, wir können hier noch Missionen machen. Machen wir das. Ja, es ist wirklich nicht einfach, wenn, gerade wenn Verlust plötzlich kommt, das ist